everybody's attention, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Would you please join me in pledge allegiance to the flag? Welcome everybody to the meetings this morning. Get started. The first thing we got to do is to approve the minutes from the October 8th meeting that we all received from Tom. Do I entertain a motion? Been moved in a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Are they down there someplace to sign? Okay, Tom, take over and with petitions.
Yes, so the first item on the agenda is the Edward Patton number 548 petition to assume jurisdiction of a drain. I'll just pull it up on the map here. We've received a petition from Mr. Gary Patton. Mr. Patton is requesting that we assume jurisdiction of a portion of open ditch that actually currently is private but serves as the outlet for what we call the Edward Patton drain. So I'll zoom in here a little bit. So you can see the green lines upstream. We have 3 different tribs of the Edward Patton drain. Currently, the Edward Patton open ditch starts at the head wall where the 2 tribs come together here and runs to County Road 300 West and then stops. So everything east of 300 has always been considered private. We do have some conflicting maps for the Edward Patton in our files, historic maps. One shows this portion of private drain being regulated, one shows it not being regulated, and of course neither are dated or confirmed. So it's possible that it's already regulated, but I figured today is important to make sure that we've got a record showing that this portion, so what you can see in the light blue line here is, so the portion of open ditch starting at 300 West down to its convergence with what is the outlet for the Thomas and Alfred Taylor drain that you see here. So Mr. Patton is asking that we assume jurisdiction of this portion of open ditch and add it as part of the Edward Patton drain. So this would serve as the outlet for what is currently the Edward Patton drain and would be known as the Edward Patton drain. Mr. Patton owns all of the property where that ditch is located, so he is the only one that's needed to sign the petition. Because we have all of the affected landowners have signed the petition, the board actually has the ability to make that determination today. It does not require a legal hearing. So the board can either decide that today or they can decide something else, but I'll definitely open it up for questions for you guys for any questions that you might have that I can answer.
So the upper dark blue wouldn't be part of the same ditch? I mean, it's the same ditch, but it's not regulated?
So up here, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's already regulated, yeah. But obviously, it's hard to maintain this. You can see the, zoom in here a little bit so you can see all of the meanders in the ditch. Obviously, all of these hard bends and turns. Obviously, all that does is slow that water down, which keeps water on the outfalls of those tributaries of the Edward Patton that are upstream. So this will give us the ability to begin to try to maintain that, maybe take out some of those meanders if IDEM and DNR are agreeable. But at the very least, it will give us the chance to get it cleared off of trees and brush and be able to maintain it to get beaver dams and things of that nature out. Right now, the landowners have been trying to maintain this on their own, and obviously that's quite expensive to try to maintain that much open ditch that's been let go for, 60 or 80 years probably. So, so his wish is that we make that part of the Edward Patton drain.
Why wouldn't you want to do the other light blue?
The other light blue is the next petition that we have on the list. So it's a combination deal. You're right, though. It made no sense to do one without the other.
What's on the lower end yet?
Well, where they come together here, so where the two blue lines come together at this point right here is actually the convergence of those two drains. I've actually went out there and took GPS data to confirm that. Where it goes on beyond that, so it continues on across Mr. Patton, just across the corner here, and then it goes across Chastain and crosses County Road, what is that? 500 North? I did look at the possibility of extending on down. Let me explain to you why that's an issue. For assessment purposes, that creates an issue where if you extended either what we're calling the Edward Patton, which is the red line, or the Thomas and Alfred Taylor, which is the blue line here, if you extended this ditch to make it regulated even to the next county road, which would normally be my wish, if you did that, you've either got to do that as one or the other or both. And what that creates is so let's say you decide, well, the Edward Patton is kind of straight line here, so let's bring the Edward Patton all the way to County Road 400 North, and the Thomas and Alfred Taylor will be regulated up to where it meets up with the Edward Patton. What that creates is a situation where everybody in the Thomas and Alfred Taylor would also pay assessment on the Edward Patton. So that's why I say where they come together there, the only way to do this logistically and fairly to the landowners would be to create a new regulated drain from the point where they come together to County Road 400, and then everybody in the Edward Patton and the Thomas and Alfred Taylor would also pay assessment on that new drain that you've created. So while this isn't ideal, this is the cleanest way to be able to be confident that we are assessing it correctly and fairly. Anything beyond that creates a bit of a logistical nightmare. You might remember we had the same issue with the Guy Little and the Cranian Skank, and that's why eventually we just combined them all into one, because otherwise somebody was going to get hit twice that really probably shouldn't.
What happens in a few years if Chastain wants to fix that corner?
It's always his right to come and ask the board to assume jurisdiction. What I'm hoping is that if we take over this portion of the private drain that serves the Edward Patton, and we take over the private ditch that serves the Thomas and Alfred Taylor, if we maintain those, that flow should help maintain the rest of it downstream. Right now, it's all filled in, grown over, because none of that water actually flows the way it's supposed to. It flows till it hits its eventual stopping point, and then it slows down, and there's no water in it. So
You may end up creating a problem because we eliminated it.
right. They're definitely gonna see, so some of the erosion points that they are already seeing, because again, you can see this ditch, even after they combine here, it still meanders quite a bit. So yeah, we're gonna basically, once we get these upper stretches maintained, we're gonna increase the amount of flow, and we're gonna create the rate, or increase the rate of flow. It may exacerbate some of those existing issues downstream, but what it will do is it will give that water a chance to, again, make its own path, and hopefully, again, I've told you this before, it's a delicate balance with the water, of it running too fast or too slow. Either one is detrimental. We need to keep a consistent rate that is not so fast that it erodes and not so slow that it allows all that silt that it's carrying to fall out of the bottom of it. So this situation, again, as we begin to maintain those upper stretches and get some of those hard bends out of it, again, it's going to increase the flow through there, which will at least help to define the channel. I did consider getting a hold of Chastain's to see if they wanted to, but again, it creates that situation where either way, if we try to make it regulated on downstream, either way we do it, you're going to be double assessing some people, which again is not untoward or unfair or irregular. We have a lot of people that pay on multiple drains. But when you have two regulated drains coming together, sometimes it creates that logistical nightmare of how do you do it so that everybody, you can be safe knowing that everybody that's paying assessment is paying the accurate assessment and appropriate assessment.
Last question, how many acres will end up coming down through there?
So the Edward Patton is, let me pull that up. And obviously these watersheds will change based on this new, because you can see the Edward Patton watershed to the west here. See, it doesn't actually come across 300 because it's not regulated downstream. So currently, the Edward Patton is approximately 372.5 affected acres. I'll show you what the watershed will look like after if we decide to do this. So the yellow line that you see here will be the change to the Edward Patton watershed if the board decides to take jurisdiction of this drain. Now, we will have a hearing to make this watershed change. We don't need a hearing for establishing the drain, but we should have a hearing to explain to the landowners that are now suddenly going to be assessed for it that have never been assessed for it in the past, so they can have a chance to understand why and to voice their opinions on that. So based on the new watershed, you're basically going to be adding about 50 acres to that watershed.
Do you have any problem on that open ditch here that has not been nothing done to it for a long time, DNR?
Well, that's the other thing, is by making it regulated, it's a lot easier for us to get permission from DNR and IDEM to do maintenance on that ditch than it is the landowner as a private entity. They're going to make him jump through many more hoops. It's going to cost them more money to do it that way. So it's kind of a cross-beneficial thing for making it regulated. Not to say that IDEM and DNR are just going to say, well, it's regulated, so you do whatever you want. That's not the case. But when I submit a request to DNR, I get an answer a lot faster than what a normal landowner would. Because again, they want to encourage that we actually do that, follow that regulation so that, they can keep their stuff where they need to keep it. So we will still, in a case like to bottom dip it, I have to submit a request to DNR to let them know what we're doing and give them an opportunity to say a permit isn't necessary. And then I send that to the Army Corps of Engineers for them to make the same determination. So all of that will continue. It's not going to change anything like that. But again, for me to do that, it's a week or two turnaround versus a landowner. It's a 6 or 8 month turnaround before they get an answer. Or they may just actually require it because it's a landowner. They can't trust that the landowner is going to do it the right way and know what they're doing. So this doesn't negate any of the federal or state regulation that's already in place. It just makes the path through that a little bit easier on our end versus the landowner.
So I assume you need this in the form of a motion to approve this, right?
Yes.
I will entertain a motion to move forward on the Edward Patton 585-48 ditch.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes.
And I have an order here for the board to sign, please. I assume that's adequate.
Now, I assume that Thomas and Taylor's is basically the same thing what we just talked about, right?
Sorry, what's that?
I said that Thomas Taylor's the same one we just talked about, right?
Yes, it's the blue line to the east.
Has anybody got any questions about that one? For Thomas Taylor?
If you want, I'll go ahead and show it on the map here as well to show you what the way the watershed will change. Again, so currently the Thomas and Alfred Taylor open ditch ends at Mr. Patton's east property line, so we'll be taking jurisdiction of that private up to where it meets up with the Edward Patton. And again, the yellow line here represents what the watershed will look like if the board approves this petition today to assume jurisdiction of that stretch of open ditch. So the red line that you see here is what the Thomas and Alfred Taylor watershed would look like afterwards. And then the yellow or the red line is the Edward Patton.
Any question, anybody? Entertain a motion to move forward.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and second. We have jurisdiction on the Thomas Taylor 542 ditch. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes.
And there's an order for you guys to sign on that one as well, please.
Timothy Lane,
What's that? Keep going?
keep going.
So the next item under petitions, you'll see we have the Timothy Lane, number 602, petition to assume jurisdiction of drain. Same situation as the Edward Patton and Thomas and Alfred Taylor. Throw it on the map here for you to see. So you can see here on the map, the blue line that runs all the way from northeast of New Ross outlets down west of County Road 625. So again, this one, kind of like the Edward Patton, the blue line represents what the petitioners have requested to take jurisdiction to get us to the next county road, which is 550 East. Again, with this drain, we have conflicting maps in the records. One shows this being regulated. We've actually done maintenance on this portion of drain 10, 12 years ago because the maps we were using at that point showed that as being regulated. Again, this process today at least shows there will be a paper record or a record in the minutes of it, as well as we will make sure we document it in the file so that future surveyors know that the drain is regulated up to County Road 550 East. The petition's been signed by Mr. David Rhodes as well as Mr. Brett Kading, and those are the two landowners that are actually contiguous to this portion of open ditch. So I don't know if Dave needs to recuse himself for this, probably. Yes. Okay, Dave, just keep your mouth closed. So again, the idea being ending the regulated drain right here. This isn't even a road. This is just a property line. So it's very hard to maintain a ditch where suddenly you just have to stop maintaining it. We've done work on this stretch in the past, some clearing, some removing of obstructions, but today the request is from the landowners both to establish that as regulated up to County Road 550 East. I'll show you what the watershed looks like because this is going to add approximately 1,000 acres to this watershed, and I'll show you why.
You didn't tell me that.
See, I make you sign before I give you all the information. That's how it works.
You said sign it, you didn't tell me all the bad
That's why I
news.
told you, sign it, don't read it, just sign it. I'll show you why. It certainly makes sense once you see it. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see it a little bit better here. So what I'm going to do is highlight in red. So what's highlighted in red is what is currently assessed for the Timothy Lane drain. Reason being, you can see all those green lines coming into it. Those are all regulated drains that are using the Timothy Lane as an outlet. So all of those sub-watersheds, tile systems, they pay assessment on the Timothy Lane as well because it serves as the outlet. If we assume this jurisdiction of this request, based on this request, that will be the drainage area for the Timothy Lane, and I'll zoom in here and show you why. You've got first of all, the Howard Klein drain tile that outlets into the Timothy Lane in this portion that's currently considered private. Obviously, these guys are not paying assessment for this, they will, but there is a private open ditch that comes across like this, and then if I zoom in here, you can actually see land scarring. You can see the ditch or the drainage that's coming through here and tying into this as well. So that whole sub-watershed that has never been assessed will be assessed as well. And I'll show you where the break is here.
It's that, the little red line there, it's just all of ours.
So this red dashed boundary that you can kind of see on here, so this is where the watershed breaks right now. This is the end of the Timothy Lane watershed. So all of this will now be assessed to the Timothy Lane as well, as it should be, because it does serve the outlet for that area.
Question, that little private that you made, that red line that goes up through our place, crosses 625, goes back to the head wall, and then there's a waterway down through there. If I wanted to make that part of the illegal drain, what would it take?
Same thing, just a petition. And we'll just call that the Dave Rhodes drain.
Well, I'm already paying a fee to the watershed to it.
Paying
right?
assessment for area does not make the drain that serves that area regulated. That's what this process that we're doing today is exactly the process that's required to make a private or mutual drain regulated. So just because you're assessed for it doesn't, there's a lot of people that are assessed for regulated drains that don't have any regulated drains on their property. Because that regulated drain serves as their outlet, so that's why they're assessed for that drain.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, it's always within your rights to request to have a private this would actually, do you own on the east side of the road there?
East side of 625?
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes all the way over that property
Okay.
line.
So yeah, in a case like this, it'd be just like the cases that we dealt with the Edward Patton and the Thomas and Alfred Taylor. You're the only landowner that is contiguous to the drain, so you would be the only one needed to sign the petition. Now, the only thing to consider is, are you making that its own regulated drain? Are you wanting to establish it as part of the Timothy Lane? Those are things that we don't have to figure out today. Those are just things to consider, because obviously if you create its own regulated, make it its own regulated drain, then you would be assessed for that one and then the Timothy Lane also. So things to consider, we can talk about that if you want to go down that road. But yes, that is always within any landowner's option. If they want to request the board to take jurisdiction of any private or mutual drain, the board has that authority. It just, some cases it requires a hearing, but in cases like this today where all of the landowners that own the drain that they're requesting have signed the petition, it does not require a hearing. The board has the authority to make that decision at a drainage board meeting.
Okay,
Does that answer your question?
yeah. It's
Or
just
create more?
part of it.
Yeah. So I will answer any other questions you might have.
Doug's gonna take over while I'm in this part of it right now.
Okay.
Any more discussion about the Timothy Lane petition to assume? Hearing none, entertain a motion to assume the Timothy Lane number 602 as a legal drain.
So moved.
We have a motion second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And again, just like the other two, we will be having a hearing on the Timothy Lane to establish this new watershed and new schedule of assessments.
Okay, the hearings, you need to set dates on those?
We'll get to
We're
that.
gonna talk about them today.
We'll get to that. So the next item on the agenda is hearings. Today, as you remember, we set several assessment hearings for hearing today. The first is the George McLean, number 541, assessment hearing. We've given each of you a copy of the surveyor's report for the George McLean. And I will pull it up on my computer here so we can follow along. So the George McLean drain was constructed in 1899, reconstructed in 2011, located in Township 17 North, Range 4 West, Sections 3, 9, and 10. Currently, the watershed consists of 357.74 acres. The proposed is 357.71 acres. The tile length is approximately 3,147 feet. Tile consists of 12-inch and 15-inch tile. There is 4,056 feet of open ditch considered part of the George McLean as well. Currently, there are 21 parcels assessed for the George McLean. That will continue. There will still be 21 assessments or 21 parcels assessed for the drain. The drain status for 2025, it is on assessment in 2025. The drain classification is maintenance for 2025. Just a little bit of financial information. So the current assessment for the George McLean is $6.78 per acre with a $5 minimum. Annual collections currently is $2,443.49. Proposed is $2,443.36. The four-year totals you can see there below. The current maintenance balance is $9,781.34, and there is currently a zero balance in the improvement fund. The next page shows the map, and this kind of gives you an idea of, you can see the white circles. That's showing you where there were discrepancies in the watershed boundary as it lines up to all of the surrounding watersheds. That's kind of what we're doing today, is cleaning up these watershed boundaries, making sure they all conform to the surrounding watersheds as well. You can see in this case, you're actually a little bit less acreage, same number of parcels. So as I mentioned before, some of these legally, we might not have been 100% legally required to have a hearing, But because the assessments are going to change a little bit, I wanted to make sure we did this in a forum where landowners had the chance to express their opinion. As you can see, they took that very seriously. We have nobody from the George McLean. So the next page shows you the current schedule of assessments, and then the next page after that is the current, or the proposed, to show you whatever changes there are actually in those assessments. Again, with this one, it is very minimal. But the recommendation would be to approve the schedule of assessments that has been submitted for hearing today. And I will answer any questions you might have, and I'll pull it up on the map for you.
That circle area right there, I think.
That's Keith Willis.
Is that Keith Will's house?
That's Keith
Where am I
Willis,
at?
that's Jonathan Estes.
Is that Jonathan Hester up there high?
That's Burkett's over here.
Okay.
Okay, looking at that now.
North is up on my maps, as long as you're holding it right side up.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect.
So yeah, the George McLean is
That's Brewer's old house.
the intersection of
Brewer's old house.
Yeah.
700 South and 200 East. Some of you, actually Dave, I think might have been the only one that was a board member when we did the reconstruction on
We
the
did
tile
Is
portion.
that the one we had the reconstruction on that we,
Because the tile was on.
that was, yes, that was when we had it all ready to go and they put recyclable tile in, right?
Yes. Enough said. Moving on.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So again, the rate is not changing. The actual annual collections is actually going to go down just a little bit. But all of the parcels that should be assessed for them are on that proposed schedule of assessments that you see, and that's the request, is to approve that schedule of assessments. And
I know it's legally doing it, but for 13 cents, it's.
again, understood.
Okay,
But see-
now, do we have to have that in form of motion to
Yes.
accept this on
Yes.
all these?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
You'll need to be asked for public comment before you vote.
Yeah, it is a hearing.
Okay, all right. First, I'll entertain a motion.
No. First, you have to allow public comment. Then you
Before we have a motion?
Yeah,
Okay,
the-
excuse me.
Yes.
Do we have a public comment?
Thank you for doing that, Dave.
All right.
Now you can.
Now I can form a motion. Okay.
Yes.
Entertain a motion, which we got. Who made the motion? And who seconded it?
I will.
You will. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes.
Let me just keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, the next item is the Foster Fletcher. Again, same situation. We'll go through the report. So the Foster Fletcher was constructed in 1905, was reconstructed in 2012, located in Township 19 North, Range 4 and 5 West, Sections 19 and 24. Currently, the watershed consists of 507.42. Proposed is 507.43, so we're gaining a tenth of an acre, or a hundredth of an acre. The tile consists of approximately 10,303 feet of tile, ranging from 7-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, 15-inch, 18-inch, 24-inch, 30-inch, 36-inch, 42-inch, and 48-inch. It's a very diverse tile. The open ditch consists of approximately 1,484 feet of open ditch. Currently, there are 93 parcels assessed for the Foster Fletcher. The proposed is 94, so there will be one new parcel assessed for the Foster Fletcher, creating the need for this hearing today. The drain status in 2025, it's off assessment this year, classified as in need of maintenance for 2025. The current assessment is $2.60 per acre with a $6 minimum. The current annual collections is $1,632.38. The proposed will be $1,638.38. The current maintenance balance is $18,279.53, and there is no current improvement fund balance. So again, the map that you see next, you'll see that there are no changes to the watershed boundary for the Foster Fletcher. It's purely one parcel that was not being assessed that needed to be assessed. So then the next pages that you'll see is the proposed schedule of assessments. And apparently I made that copy twice. Actually, the first one is actually the current. It says proposed, but it's current. And then the next set of schedule of assessment is the proposed that has the additional parcel added in. Oh, sorry. Did you give them findings in order for the last one? Did you send them the findings in order? Okay.
So Tom, is it, the status on the report is off, are you turning it on?
No,
You're not asking to be turned on?
no. It's just reporting to you that it is off assessment currently. We're not changing that at all.
It's just changing the watershed?
Correct.
We're adding a parcel. Okay.
Correct.
So I'll need to make that change on the phone.
Oh, okay. And I'll throw it on the map here for everybody to see. The Foster Fletcher Drain, located north of Crawfordsville, starts where the hotels are on the northwest side of Lafayette Road at 74, and eventually outlets downstream. And
2012 when we redid all that, and
it's hard to believe, isn't it? And I will answer any questions the board might have.
you got any comment, Mr. Saylor?
Close the hearing.
So, any public comment? If not, I entertain a motion to move forward.
Second.
Second, been moved and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes.
The next hearing is the Joel Tobin, number 576. So the Joel Tobin Drain was constructed in 1920 and another portion constructed in 1946. There was a reconstruction in 2021 on the Joel Tobin, located in Township 18 North, Range 4 West, Sections 14, 15, 22, 23, 27, and 28. Currently, the watershed consists of 3,001.61 acres. The proposed is going to be the same, 3,001.61 acres. Tile consists of approximately 2,378 feet of tile, ranging from 10-inch, 15-inch, and 18-inch. There is 17,999 feet of open ditch. Current 164 parcels being assessed, proposed 164 parcels, so that doesn't change. The drain status for 2025 is it is on assessment, and the drain classification is in need of maintenance for 2025. Currently, the assessment is $2.40 per acre with a $5 minimum, which collects $7,466.74 annually. Proposed will be $7,469.72 annually. The current maintenance balance is $29,659.73. There's currently a zero balance in the improvement fund, and currently there is still an active reconstruction fund for the reconstruction that was done in 2021, and that balance is currently $12,518.30. The next page shows you the watershed map, and again, you'll see the two circled areas, white circled areas. Those are, again, areas where the watersheds were not conforming to the surrounding watersheds, which needed to be addressed. That's the point of the hearing today. And then after that, you will see the current schedule of assessments, followed by the proposed schedule of assessments, showing the change. And I will answer any questions you might have. And I'll put it on the map here for everybody to see. So the red outline, this is northwest of Nucor Steel. So that red outline represents the boundary for the Joel Tobin Drain, which is the blue line that you see here, as well as the green line, which is the tile upstream, which was reconstructed in 2021.
Question I've got with Nucor, basically, Nucor divides a watershed, two watersheds?
Actually, more than two. Nucor is served by, actually, I think 4 different regulated drains, if I remember correctly. You've got the Joel Tobin, which serves a portion of Nucor's property. You've got what's called the Jennings Miller which serves part of New Course property. You've got the William Epperson, which serves a portion. And you also have the Lynn Hines,
Lynn Hines,
which
yeah.
serves portions of
Yeah.
New Course property, yes. So they,
Since they bought that on the tires and stuff, yes.
right, yes. So New Course they pay multiple different assessments on multiple different parcels.
And then they've recently purchased land to the east of Tower
Right.
also.
Oh, Mark?
I don't know who off of, but I know they acquired that field to the east of their new site.
Yeah.
One would think they're probably gonna expand there.
Yes.
Okay, any public comments? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to move forward on the Joe Tolan 576 ditch. Been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes.
Dan's going to send you the order to sign. Excuse me.
Killed the best trees today.
Yeah, there's no reason to change that, so we'll, okay. That's fine. So the next item on the agenda, the next hearing is for the Clarence Widener, number 582. Clarence Widener Drain was constructed in 1910, also reconstructed in 2021, located in Township 18 North, Range 4 West, Sections 8, 16, and 17. Current watershed consists of 404.06 acres. The proposed will actually be 404.04 acres. Tile consists of approximately 7,622 feet of tile, ranging from 10-inch, 12-inch, 15-inch, 18-inch, and 24-inch. There is no open ditch considered part of the Clarence Widener regulated drain. Currently, there are 14 parcels assessed for the Clarence Widener. The proposed is 70. The drain status for 2025, it's off assessment, and the drain classification for 2025 is in need of maintenance. Currently, the assessment is $2.65 per acre with a $5 minimum, which collects $1,083.47 annually. The proposed would be $1,338.43 annually. The current maintenance balance is $5,068.48. It's carrying a zero balance to the improvement fund. And again, a reconstruction fund that is still active since 2021, contains $1,583.82. So the next page again shows you the watershed. The watershed boundary did not need to change on this one. The main change for this one was the housing subdivision that is being built currently on the south side of Crawfordsville, and all of those splits. So you can see that's why there were 14 parcels assessed, now it's going to be 70. So that's the change, correct. Correct. So all of those splits.
Built, then you gotta change it, you have to.
No, so it's the splitting of the property is what changes our methodology. Whether the house is built or sold or whatever, all will change is just the owner name when it's sold and house built. But as they're split, they can be updated. The problem is that these were split previously and those updates weren't made. So because there's been a period of time between when it was done, I didn't think it was appropriate to just go and do that because, again, there would have been questions. So again, this is one that, again, legally 100% might not have been 100% necessary, but in order to be transparent with landowners, I thought this was the most appropriate step next, is to capture all of those splits that have been done and make sure that we had a hearing process to explain why that will now be assessed. I'll pull it up on the map here in a second, and I'll show you the impact. As far as the report that you've been given, again, the first page is the current schedule of assessments. The second schedule of assessments is the proposed, and you can see there are obviously a lot more parcels there. So we'll pull it up on the map here to show you the impact on the lower end. So this is where you'll see these parcel lines. So this was all one parcel when we did the reconstruction in 21. So now all of these parcels have been split. So to update our records to make sure all of these parcels that are within this red outline are assessed, today's hearing was necessary. And I'll answer any other questions you might have.
Question, did we designate a legal drain for that housing addition yet? Are we going to? Do we need one or
It's
not?
in the city.
It's in the city limits, so it's there.
It's in the city, so
Thank you, Dan. Dan was Johnny on the spot.
The city should have done that. would be
Yes,
bad.
yes.
No.
The city originally wanted us to try to retrofit our reconstruction to accommodate that, and it was not appropriate for us to do that, which we did not do. So the city will have to address any drainage issues that are, I mean, that subdivision had a drainage plan that was approved. So that portion that's in the watershed is the portion of that new subdivision that will still be draining into the Clarence Widener drain. That's why they're assessed for it.
Question I've got on that, did the city annex that whole area to come into their jurisdiction?
A substantial portion of it, yeah. They annexed, do you have the annexation one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see here. Yeah, a lot of this, none of this area used to be in the city, it was, the old city boundary is 150 south.
That's right, so,
They have, you'll see annex.
So that light blue line that you see is what we have the most current version of the city of Crawfordsville boundaries.
Basically north of the road.
And I would think that they are going to receive further annexation petitions to the east there. South of-
Likely as things go in. that's
South
what
of the
we're
parkway,
talking
yeah. Because they annex in so they can have sanitary sewer.
Right.
That's the whole thing, which is fine, which is fine. The county and city worked all that out, but that's fine.
Right.
You won't develop unless it has sanitary, you can't get sanitary unless you're in the city, so guess what? You get in the city.
question I've got is down there where, this is off the subject, down there across from Larry Smith's, that used to be the, that,
Morris Heights?
huh?
Morris Heights drain? Is that what you're
No,
talking about?
that business that's down,
W fabricating, what?
fabricate right there where
Oh,
that.
here? This? This is Larry Smith.
We did that drain where
Bobcat.
Bobcat was gonna build. but
Bobcat
across
was gonna be
road-
just to the
across
south
road
here.
there, what used to be,
The old trailer court.
no, go back to the big map there, Tom, that you had. Right there, right in there, no, go up, now to your left. Right there, what's that business in there right now?
Oh, that's Polytech.
Polytech, yeah.
Okay, now what does that consist of?
I have no
They
idea.
recycle plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that is now in the city for the same reasons.
okay.
Yeah, I knew where you meant, that's the old,
Co-op warehouse.
Where, it used to be a warehouse, it used to be,
it was Red Garrett Electrical one time.
Winfield.
Yeah. So you can see the parcelization here, that new subdivision, there will be houses built behind that as part of this new subdivision.
And if you look at that map,
They're there now, I think.
Are they?
yeah, and if you look at that map, or that building there, you can see how was just that office building in the front, and then they built that warehouse, and you can see they doubled the size of that warehouse as part of their most recent expansion. So that building, that warehouse is not twice as big, you can kind of see the different roof line colors there to show. So they're getting to be a pretty big deal, if they recycle plastic.
All right. Any public comment? Hearing none, we need a motion to proceed.
So moved.
Been moved and second, any discussion? All in favor of the motion for the Clarence Weiler ditch, 582? Say yay.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
So we will get you a revised order for that, or do you have it, does that one need to be revised?
I think what I'm saying, then I'll give you the.
Oh, okay. So the next item, next hearing on the agenda is for the William Davis number 600. The William Davis was constructed in 1912, has never been reconstructed, located in Township 17 North, Range 4 West, Sections 9, 19, and 30. The watershed consists currently of 384.88 acres. The proposed is actually 384.97 acres. Tile consists of approximately 5,479 feet of tile, ranging from 10-inch, 16-inch, and 18-inch. There is no open ditch considered part of the William Davis regulated drain. Currently, there are 13 parcels being assessed. The proposed is 14 parcels. Currently, the drain is paying $2.36 per acre with a $5 minimum, which collects $915.70 annually. The proposed new watershed would collect $920.63 annually. Current maintenance balance is $3,683.93. There is a zero balance in the improvement fund. The map of the aerial map of the watershed, you can see again the two white circled areas were just areas where the watershed was not conforming, so we had to make changes there. And again, after that, we've got the current schedule of assessments as well as the proposed schedule of assessments. And I will pull the William Davis up on the map to show you where we're talking about. So, Doug, do you have to recuse on this one? Are you in the William Davis? Are you in the William Davis?
Yep.
So you'll have to recuse yourself. So this is located on South US Highway 231 and crosses 1000 South. And I'll answer any questions you might have.
Is the outlet, is that a open?
Yeah, so the outlet is the John and Sarah Niven drain,
Okay.
currently assessed and maintained.
Any other questions? I entertain a motion to,
Public comment.
Public comments. Entertain a motion to move forward. I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Doug abstains.
I just didn't do it.
Continuing on, the next hearing is the Margaret Rimley, number 615, assessment hearing. The Margaret Rimley, number 615, was constructed in 1905, reconstructed in 2015, located in Township 17 North, Range 4 West, Sections 6 and 7, and Township 17 North, Range 5 West, Sections 1, 2, and 12. Currently, there is 1,447.91 acres. The proposed is 1,447.97 acres. Tile consists of approximately 1,650 feet of tile. It's all 15-inch tile. The open ditch consists of approximately 12,297 feet of open ditch. Currently, there are 50 parcels assessed. The proposed is actually 49. The drain status for 2025 is on assessment, and the drain classification for 2025 is in need of maintenance. The current assessment is $3.48 per acre with a $5 minimum. The proposed assessment is $4.61 per acre with a $5 minimum. So currently, based on the current assessment, the drain would collect $5,084.23. The proposed is $6,710.94. Current maintenance balance is zero. Current improvement balance is, it's carrying a negative $1,373.10 in the improvement fund. So you can see this is the first one that we're actually proposing to raise the actual rate, the maintenance rate. And this maintenance rate that I'm proposing to raise it up to, this $4.61, that is not an assessment, that number is not designed on paying back any debt like we normally do when we raise assessment. $4.61 is actually what it should be. It's calculated assessment based on the attributes of the drain. So this isn't a raise that we will be looking at lowering in the future. This is what the continuing rate will be for the time being for the Margaret Rimley, is the $4.61 per acre. The next page, again, the map showing you the white outlined areas where the watershed needed to be changed slightly. And then after that, you'll see the current schedule of assessments based on the current rate, and then the proposed schedule of assessments based on the proposed watershed and proposed increased rate, with the new totals down at the bottom. Again, this one's a little bit different, so I will answer any questions you might have on this one. I know there might be a little bit more on this one than there have been on the other ones. So I'll go ahead and pull it up on the map here so we can clarify whatever questions are asked.
You have a
Yeah, so as next year's, or as the fall installment comes in this year, and then the installments come in next year, those monies will be transferred to cover that debt, to bring that balance in the improvement fund back to zero.
Accomplishes two purposes.
Correct.
What the rate should be and pay back.
Actually, three purposes, because we still have work necessary that is necessary on the Margaret Remley. So again, we're in the red because of work that we've already done, but we do have more work that's scheduled. So raising this rate it's dual purpose, yes.
Thank you.
So you can see highlighted in red here is what's considered the proposed Margaret Remley watershed.
Any public comments? Any questions for Tom? Entertain a motion to move forward. Been moved in second.
Oh yeah, Matt's on this one.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes. Mr. Mitchell abstained. You keep me all the papers straight.
No.
You're getting double title. You gotta say I judge your name and.
Matt's just lucky. So the final hearing on the agenda today is the Asbury Lynn, number 656. Asbury Lynn Drain was constructed in 1923, 1947, and 1957. Been multiple add-ons to that drain, apparently. There has never been a reconstruction that we show record of in the office. Located in Township 18 North, Range 3 West, Section 18. The watershed consists of currently 23.37 acres. The proposed is 24.06 acres. The tile consists of approximately 2,528 feet of tile, ranging from 8-inch to 16-inch to 18-inch. There is no open ditch included in the Asbury Lynn drain. So currently there are 28 parcels being assessed. The proposed is 29 parcels. Excuse me.
It's in Lindsberg.
Yes, Lindsberg. Drain status for 2025, it is currently off assessment, and the drain classification for 2025 is in need of maintenance. Currently, the drain is assessed at $12.45 per acre with a $10 minimum. Currently, that collects $413.89. The proposed would collect $421.27. The current maintenance balance is $2,048.62. And there is a zero balance in the improvement fund for the Asbury Lynn. So you can see this very small watershed in Lindsberg, just on the north side of the railroad. Again, there was no change to this watershed. It was a matter of a parcel was not correctly assessed. Next page is the current schedule of assessments, and then following that is the proposed schedule of assessments. And we'll pull it up on the map here to follow along. So this is the Asbury Lynn drain located in Lindsberg. And I'll answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Tom?
Even though you have a current positive negative maintenance balance, this is the number you feel going forward to maintain.
Yes. We put the drain back on assessment, I want to say 2018, somewhere around there. And at this point, I haven't done any maintenance on the drain. So the needs are not there to raise that assessment. The 1245 is just what the calculated assessment would be because you've got such a small amount of acreage to assess. So the 1245 per acre with a $10 minimum, the $10 minimum is indicative of this is a residential area. So if you didn't have a higher minimum, you'd have less collections annually because the per acre rate, most of those houses have less than an acre, so they would all just be paying basically the minimum. So it's common for this is more like what you would call an urban drain, for lack of a better designation. So that's why you see the higher per acre rate and the higher minimum assessment, is just to make sure you're collecting at least enough to do minimal repairs on the drain if necessary.
Okay. Any public comment? Entertain a motion to move forward? So moved. Second. Been moved to second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes.
Okay, moving down the agenda. I didn't put anything under old business, but last month's meeting under other business, we discussed the possibility of landowner informational meetings for the drains that we have scheduled for reconstruction next year. So I wanted to check with the board and see if that's what you want to do. We can go ahead and send out notices to all the landowners to let them know that at the December meeting, we will hold an informational meeting for those drains that are scheduled for reconstruction next year. We never really made a decision at the last meeting. I just wanted to get that on today to make sure that that's the board's wishes.
What's everybody's feelings? Yep.
Okay.
I don't want to be accused of not informing the public of projects that we're going to do, and not have unexpected.
I don't think you need that as a form of a motion because an informational meeting is not a legal hearing or anything, so I just wanted to get that indication. So we will send out letters to everybody to have them at the December meeting to start the process, or start the conversations on those drains. Any questions on that? Nope. Okay, so under new business, you've got regulated drain assessment hearing scheduled, just like we did for today. So the list of drains that you see here, originally I had hoped we could set assessment hearings at the December meeting. We've come across some new information, so we're actually able to remove the Raymond Welliver from that list, as well as the James Harris. So what I would ask the board today is that you set assessment hearings. Actually, wait a minute, we need another step first. So we don't have a 30-day window between now and the regularly scheduled December meeting. The December meeting will be on the 10th. So we will need to reschedule the December meeting to allow for the notices that go out for these assessment hearings. So I'd like to get the board's input. Do you want to move it back 1 week to Wednesday, December the 17th? Or would you like to do the same week? If we wanted to do actually, no, it would have to be the week of the 17th. So do you want to just move it back 1 week? Is that agreeable? Is everybody going to be around December 17th? Not laying on a beach somewhere? Okay, so then the first thing I think we need to do is make a motion to change the meeting date for December from the 10th to the 17th.
So moved.
Been moved, I'll second the motion, to move the December meeting to December the 17th, Wednesday, December 17th, at 9:30. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right.
Okay, so now I would request that the board set assessment hearings for the Jesse Evans, number 514, Glendard Miller, number 538, Alvin Sparks, number 554, William Lynn, number 580, Timothy Lane, number 602, and Isaac Lynn, number 626, at the December 17th Drainage Board meeting.
I entertain a motion. I'll move.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I have, under that, we have other business. I have no other business. If the board has any other business they'd like to bring up.
Mr. Taylor, you got anything?
No, but thank you.
Any public comments? Thanks, Mr. Saylor.
Yeah, thanks to all the landowners for showing up today. I appreciate it.
Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn. We'll see everybody on the 17th.
It's been moved.
Adjourn.
Thank you.